My first international flight was when I was 23 years old. Since then, I've traveled to over 70 countries, and I can honestly say that every single one of them has taught me something that I will never forget. In today's video, I wanted to share with you some of the lessons from around the world that have stuck with me for years. If you don't have the money to travel right now, don't worry. Some of these lessons can be learned just by exploring your own city. And if you do travel someday in the future, I hope that these points are helpful for you. With that being said, let's jump into it. Know when I learned this while traveling through Europe and Southeast Asia, and it's that locals usually know how to get around much better than any guidebook or even Google Maps. Locals also know where the best food is. They know what restaurants are good value and where the most beautiful views are. It's always worth asking a local for advice, but it's especially useful when it comes to transportation. From taking the metro in Paris to visiting Angkor Wat in Cambodia, I got some of my best travel tips from people that live in the places that I was visiting. My advice is to go up to someone who works at a local business, like a shop owner, a waiter, or a receptionist at your hotel. They usually know the area really well and they're happy to help you out. And if you're traveling in your own country, ask your Airbnb host. I've gotten so many great recommendations from people that rent out their homes on Airbnb. Lesson no. 2. The world does not revolve around you. When I first started traveling, I had this crazy idea in my head that everything was going to be open late, just like back home in North America. I quickly realized that this was not the case. Shops, restaurants, and even banks would close for lunch and dinner in many countries. And they would also be closed on Sundays. I had to adjust my mindset and realize that there are other cultures out there with different customs and traditions than mine. This lesson extends way past just store hours though. When you travel non-stop, you'll meet so many different types of people with different viewpoints than yours. You may disagree with some of these viewpoints, but it's important to remember that they're still valid. Traveling has made me more empathetic and understanding of others. I'm also aware of my own biases, and I try to reflect on them constantly, because I know that they won't always be correct. The world doesn't revolve around me, and neither does my culture. No. 3. Learn a few key phrases in the local language. I'm not saying that you need to go and learn an entire new language before you visit a country, but learning a few basic phrases like hello, thank you, and excuse me will go a long way. These phrases show respect to the people that you're interacting with, and they're very easy to pick up. I love using Google Translate for this purpose. It's free, and it can instantly translate whatever you want. It can also pronounce the phrase for you so you can hear how it sounds. A little goes a long way. Just saying hello and thank you in the local language can make the people around you very happy. And if you practice these phrases before you go on your trip, you might just find that you actually enjoy speaking the language. I remember when I was in high school, I took 2 years of Spanish, and I was so bad at speaking it. I had almost completely forgotten everything I learned by the time I graduated. But when I went to Seville, Spain, on a study abroad program, I found myself speaking Spanish with almost no effort. All I had to do was practice. The 4th lesson I learned is that it's okay to disconnect from technology. We're all pretty attached to our smartphones nowadays. We use them for navigation, communication, and entertainment. But sometimes it's nice to take a break and disconnect. I try to put my phone away as much as possible when I'm traveling. I don't want to spend all of my time taking photos and videos for social media. I want to enjoy the present moment and be in the moment. There are also downsides to staying connected 24/7. For example, when you're on your phone, you're less likely to interact with the people around you. And when you do travel non-stop, meeting new people is one of the best parts about it. So put your phone away, smile at the people around you, and you might find yourself making a new friend. Lesson no. 5. Don't be afraid to try new things. Trying new things while traveling could look like eating a bug in Thailand, surfing in Portugal, trekking in Nepal, or simply taking public transportation in a big city. When you travel non-stop, you're constantly outside of your comfort zone. And if you allow yourself to explore, you'll become more comfortable with being uncomfortable. You may be scared to try something new, but I promise you that the reward will be worth it. Traveling makes us more adaptable and resilient. And when you return home, you'll be able to face challenges with a new mindset. No. 6. Pack light. I used to be a very light packer, but after visiting many countries, I've realized that I need certain items in my bag no matter where I go. However, over time, I've perfected the art of packing light. I've learned which items are versatile and which ones I just don't need. I also make sure to leave space in my bag for souvenirs. It's always disappointing when you can't buy something because your bag is already too full. In my experience, the best luggage is a carry-on suitcase and a personal item bag. That way you don't have to check in and you don't have to pay extra fees. Another benefit of packing light is that you're less likely to have your bag stolen. When you're traveling through bigger cities, be sure to keep your bags close to you at all times because pickpockets are everywhere. But if your bag isn't super flashy, it's less likely to attract a thief. The seventh lesson I learned is that it's okay to stay in the same place for a long period of time. Most travelers try to move around as much as possible. And while seeing many places is great, there's nothing wrong with staying in one place for a long period of time. I spent 6 months in Thailand and 6 months in Mexico, and both of these places felt like a second home to me. I had a routine, favorite places to go, and even friends. Being somewhere for a long time allows you to settle in and relax. You'll also be able to connect with the locals if you speak their language or learn about their customs. And when you do travel nonstop, you can burn out. Sometimes it's nice to relax in a familiar place and recharge your batteries. And finally, no. 8. Money doesn't buy happiness. You can see this wherever you go. Some of the happiest people in the world don't have much money, and some of the richest people in the world are miserable. When you travel, you'll meet many different types of people, and when you connect with locals, you'll realize that money isn't everything. Of course, having enough money to support yourself and loved ones is important. But once you reach that point, the more money you have doesn't equate to more happiness. Instead, focus on building relationships with people, pursuing your passions, and helping others. And while traveling, focus on creating memories rather than spending lots of money. With that being said, I want to know what you've learned from traveling. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.